I'd like to say this is not comedy. This is a public service announcement. I'm here to talk to you today about Anthony Woods. Remember Anthony Woods, also known as Tony Woods, also known as Big Tony, also known as Tony the Tiger, also known as Tony the Chipper, also known as El Chippo. Now, Tony Woods is a very dangerous man, a very vicious man. If you met him in the street, you wouldn't think he's anything unusual. He gives every impression that he's just like what it says on his business card. He owns a small import-export business in Manhattan, that's it. But this man, in truth, is the kingpin of illegal mulch sales all throughout the 5 boroughs and even beyond. He is a dominant figure in the world of American gardening. There is not one illegal window box, there is not one unregistered flower pot, there is not one illicit community garden that he does not have his fingers in and his influence all over. Now, Big Tony first came to public attention about 15 years ago with the Pleasant Day heist, when he and 5 compatriots stole 5 tractor trailer loads full of black mulch from Pleasant's hardware store. Witnesses say that as he was leaving, he stuck his head out the window and said, "All y'all have a pleasant day now." And that's where the heist got its name, because the police don't always pay attention. But since then, he's turned the illegal mulch business into a real growth industry, if you will, stemming at least partly from the fact that the underground gardening world is a very popular thing in New York, because you won't have to deal with all the bull crap, the figurative and literal, that you do for regular gardening. Eventually, this got to be so bad and stealing so much mulch from the hardware stores and the garden centers that the owners got together and they petitioned the mayor of New York City. And then the mayor of New York City got together with the commissioner, and the commissioner got together with his deputies, and so on and so forth. And the end result was that they founded the Mulch Interdiction/Location Force, MILF. This force of brave, all-female, experienced police officers was also known among the force as MILFs, because the police don't always pay attention, was charged with cutting him down to size, if you will, or at least pruning his activities back to a more manageable level. Unfortunately, they didn't have a great start. I guess I could use that. They didn't have a great start because the NYPD had always written this off as, mulch should do about nothing, if you will. But they persevered, and while their early efforts were characterized by accusations of planted evidence and testimony that was ranged from the implausible to the outright unbelievable, they have persevered, they have improved, and they're now making arrests, they are now bringing people to trial, they are getting convictions, they are making headway. They're not making much headway because, as it turns out, Big Tony is a rather ruthless sort, and people who testify against him or cross him or don't make the quarterly sales figures that he expected have a nasty habit of disappearing for a few weeks before they suddenly turn up in gardens all over Brooklyn, Bronx, and Queens. You might say this is a business seminar. You might say they bought the farm. Certainly they're now pushing up daisies, but clearly getting testified money against him is something that's fraught with payers. So they had to really cherry pick their cases, if you will. But overall, considering circumstances, I think they're doing a great job. They are getting convictions. They are putting people away slowly but surely. They may not be the apple of the commissioner's eye, but they aren't doing too badly neither. The bad news is that while this was going on, Big Tony has been putting down roots, donating to churches and communities and charities, and lots of other things that begin with C. Stuff that begins with B or D, like basketball or baseball teams, that's right out unless it's got a C in there too, like community basketball team. So he's also been sending out tendrils, putting out runners, and getting influence with all kinds of official groups, ranging from the city hall all the way down to the city dump. Let me tell you, when that connection came to light, raised a big stink. You ain't seen that much garbage in City Hall since they last election season. It was bad. He's also been branching out. I mean, originally he started out just selling black mulch. A black-hearted black man in a black suit selling black mulch on the black market. That's black comedy for you folks, right there. But he has since branched out. First into brown mulch, then into red mulch. Local rumor has it that he got into red mulch to hide the blood stains, but they never prove that one way or the other. Lately, he's been really raking in the green, getting into the artificial sod business. But this one has had a few problems because there's already established interest there, and it's really sparked a number of turf wars. And there's a lot of people there who really don't mind grassing on the competition to the police if it means they can weed out some rivals. So that one's been an uphill battle. Unless, of course, the ground's been flat, in which case it's been another kind of battle. I go on and tell you some more about it, but I've run out of puns, so I'm afraid that's the end of this bit. So